How's everyone doing? What's occurring? We've been waiting for us to break for the last couple hours. I don't think it's going to happen now, mind you. Super interesting day in treasuries today. Nice one, to be honest. Took a little bit too many trades, to be honest with you. Just paid too much in commissions. Jay, how's it going? How's it going, dude? So this has literally been in like a 4 or 5 tick range, I think now for 2 hours. So it doesn't look like it's going to break. We're going to switch to indices directly, but if we look at when the durable goods number came out, we went bid, then we just absolutely dumped, and then went straight back up. So I caught this short, took a stop on the durable goods, and then we actually bought this up, and then we took the short down, and then caught this long up. So it was a good day from that perspective. We took like 10 ticks, which was nice. Paid a little bit too much in commissions though, but c'est la vie. C'est la vie. There's the 10 tickaroos here, but with no. I don't monitor it in terms of size, I just do it for the number of ticks. Removed P&L a while ago. Oh, you took the same trade, Jay. Nice. Nice. The flow here was really good. It's been a long day, so I can't exactly remember the exact flow, but in fact, let me have a look at it. It was this sell off here where there was literally not a whole lot of buying on the way down, so there was negative 6k delta on the way down, and there just wasn't very much bid in the way. And then this one as well. I mean, I was honestly hoping that we were going to crash here at the time, the complete low, and then just absolutely dump. Um, so it was a good trade. I think I literally tried the crack like 3 times. There was loads of negative delta here. I was basically shorting in here, but I had a position that was holding from here. So this day to day, normally I'm in and out for three ticks, to be honest. But on this way up here, I was basically just buying out for 3 ticks, pull back a little bit, buying out for 3 ticks, that type of stuff. But this one, I was hoping that this would have cracked. But we can see here there was, in essence, like 6,000 delta or so. Absorbed at the lows here. We just didn't go. So we're now back down at this level, and we've been faffing around here for like hours. Let me put this to 30 minute so you can see that a little bit easier. Yeah, so this is the 30 minute that you're looking at. So we are really primed. There is going to be a lot of stops below here. It's just not enough juice left in the session for this to crack. We really need to see the 30-year get below 14s. I've tried this a few times, to be honest. I've ended up break even. I think we lost a tick, scratch, won a tick, trying to get this to basically go. But too late on in this session. And even if we do go now, I just don't think there's enough size. We'll maybe, sweep 19s and then probably revert back to like 21s. So I just don't think there's enough volume. And you can see here on this 30-minute dump here, there was 131,000 contracts, then 90,000, then 80, then 60. And you can see how the market just dried off. to be honest, in the last 30 minutes, 35,000 contracts, then 29k. There needs to be more volume than that, basically to start breaking these lows. And you also want to see this is the whole part of the curve. This is the 2 year at the bottom right, the 5 year top right, 30 year in the middle top. This is the ultra bond. This is the ultra 10 year bottom left, and this is the 10 year that you're seeing. I mainly execute on the tens. This one, the 10 year notes. Actually, a good day. It's a rule of thumb. I think I'd say to myself, I don't do it very often, to be honest with you, but I took a shot pre-market, um, maybe about an hour before open and got chopped up a little with no real direction. So ultimately just waited till durable goods came out. What was kind of weird as well is that durable goods happened. It was an extremely, I think it was the highest print this year for durable goods. Core was a bit of a miss. But then the market, I was thinking the market would have dumped off, but we went bid first and then we had that correction. So this was the durable goods move where I get stopped. The market swept like 3 ticks. So I took a slightly bigger loss than expected. Then we got up here, and then this was just this great sell off, to be honest with you. Just so much selling, which was nice. So let me know everyone's sessions view. We're going to switch to indices pretty soon. I've had enough of looking at treasuries today. And I think that's what we'll do. I think if this cracks, it cracks. I mean, we're not trading that, to be honest with you. So we'll just close and save. And then we'll open up indices and let's see what's happening there. Wonder where. Alright, it's still loading. Okay. Just about to say the volume profile's disappeared there. It's kind of weird. Reset this and then we'll recenter. Okay, let's have. Oh wow, we are dumperooing here. Wow, how's pre-market? This has been quite a big sell-off. To be kind of expected, right? So wait and see. Let's recenter this a little and see exactly what's happening. Let's put this into last week here. How's Delta today? Basically flat. Wow. Just no bid here on the way down, eh? Just no biddaroo. Yeah, a lot of selling, but the delta's not really there, to be honest. So must have been a pretty weak bid in the way down here. I really wish Sierra would sort their shit out with this timing sales. It's not the cleanest of aesthetics. I need to be quite careful here. In order for this to continue down, you'd want to see the value to low protected. So we'll just draw that here. So we'd want to see the value to low protected here at 28s. So we'll put that here. Eh, mm, I don't know. It just seems a bit strange. The action here. It's not one-way street selling or anything. Just the bid has been weak. So once the bid actually starts stepping up, it will probably just go back into value. To be honest with you, you can see that here, but the delta, right? We're only 1220 positive on a day. So this sell-off here has just been a weak bid. So the bid's just been pulled. Doesn't necessarily mean that the selling is one way. If anyone on knows how to make this time and sales a little bit neater, let me know. 67 contracts, hit the bid. I mean, everything is pretty much out of value, I think. Well, NQ is somewhat still in. Nico, how's it going? What's happening, dude? How's your sesh been? Let me know how your day's been. You taking any positions? This is last week's profile you're seeing. So we have this area here. Is basically the value to low at 10 and a quarter. And we have got this little lower volume node. So we're currently just trading out this higher volume area right now. And again, the main premise for a Monday is we'll probably revert back in, to be honest. But we'll see if they can continually bang it. Dan, how's it going? Yeah. Yeah, I think you should have, if you either made your money today or not, maybe you'll have one opportunity by close of play for the market on close, but that's about it. That is about it. Oh, a little bit of size coming in and hitting the bid rather than these poxy 5 and 6 lots. Someone hit 25 contracts. If you're wondering what the white is in the red, that's a sweep. Two shorts this morning and done. Nicely done, mates. Very nicely done. Be interesting to see what the total volume has been for today. Does anyone have that to hand? See this 100 lot of 25s if it can be filled out. But I'm not completely convinced of this sell off right now. I would want to see sellers start to get a little bit more aggressive and at least challenge with some more size. As we were saying, to get down here so far, it's not been. It's just been the bid being pulled rather than any strong selling comes in. So typically when that happens, it just means buyers want to buy a little bit lower rather than the sellers aggressively hitting into the bid. Slightly different flows. See if that 51 is going to be pulled. If it's there just to try and test the offer. There's 100 lot in one clip in. Now, if buyers start getting a little bit more aggressive, then people who sold down here need to become buyers, and then we are back in value. Let's see if sellers going to take that 100 lot. They do, but they split it. Two orders. So you can see down here, buyers are still happy to be placing out these bids. It was pulled, mind you. So let's see if this does trade. No, pulled. That's twice they've pulled. There's two spoofs in 5 minutes. Dan, it's Heikinashi candles, just to try and remove some of the noise from typical candlesticks. Okay, NQ is pushing. If NQ keeps down here, then ES is certainly not going to fill out. But we want to see if they're going to test this 100 lot again. And we're probably going to need to see, some significant negative delta to come in here. You can see the market's moving through, prices with like 14 contracts. So it's not necessarily, aggressive one-side action or anything. Seems to be a continual theme at the minute. Valentino, thanks for looking it up, buddy. Yeah, so just as another thing as well, typically for the market to be breaking lows and stuff, you need to see more volume, you know? You need volume to make moves, just the way it is. Not enough volume. Volume is the number one thing that is going to cause breakouts. Because you need all the participants. You need breakout traders, you need people actually going with the size, you need stop runs, you need people covering. You need all of that to basically get a move to happen. Okay, if buyers can get above this 26s here and holds, then sellers are going to start covering and they become buyers, which is going to take us back in. It's going to take us back into the value area, to be honest. So let's see if they can do that. And you see that the market is moving up right now with just no real buying, so the offer is being pulled. So you need buyers to try and punch above here. This is right back into value now. Again, you can see there's not really any real size that's coming in, just tons of small positions that have been executed. James boy, how's it going? Yeah, seems like it, dude, but right. Let's see here. Seller's going to test this 25 and a half, this 100 lot, see what they're going to do with it. This is such a different market these days, truly. Yeah, bank holiday in the UK, Pikey boy. Bank holiday in the UK, which won't really affect it. Would maybe affect the London session, maybe affect the pound. Of course, the FTSE and stuff won't move. Probably the Eurex products too much, but US markets are not going to be that affected. But you're right though, volume is not going to be as high as people from London still trading, but they're way home by now. Yeah, Jay, sure, no problem. No problemo. 50 lot was pulled there. That's the third spoof we've seen since we've started. Yeah, exactly, Fig. It's just not the. This is we're basically seeing the same. How would we say, conditions like we had the other session that you're in, um, which is pretty much just typical of summer months, to be honest. not a huge amount of volume. So the market still has to move, but it doesn't really move on any size. So it's just a completely different eye that you need to have. I mean, if someone really had some cells to unload right now, they would be smashing into the bid to clear these next three prices. They could dump like 300 contracts into the bid right now, which I don't think they're going to do. Let's see. There's 29. This guy, whoever's placing these 50 lots, this is his fifth attempt. Sellers are hitting into them. To all intents and purposes, this should be going. Couple of thousand delta comes in here. We could be dumperooing. I'm going to change this filter here to 0 filter, or minimum volume 1, and you're going to see how many one lots is clipped here in this market. I mean, look at this. It's just buying and selling programs with one lots. And this guy's back with his 50 lots again. There we go. There's a little bit of size into the bid. It wasn't like maybe six months ago. You could even filter ES for like minimum of like 250, 300s for your large clips. You're just not getting that these days. A huge order you're seeing in these conditions is like 50 contracts. I suppose my reasoning here for filtering this to one lot is just to show you that they're just drilling in one lots and then they're pulling bids and offers to move the market. There's no real, someone's not coming in and saying, right, I'm going to smash into the bid for 300 contracts in one clip. Because when the market's like this, they can just pull the offer and drill in one lots, and then you're back up 5, 6 ticks. It's really hard to get any real directional moves, and the market does this. They are trading ES. They're just breaking the orders down, and it's the summer, of course. Um, well, exactly. That's the thing, Fig. You would just be laying out tons of like, for example, if you wanted to gobble up all this buying, you would be doing exactly what this guy's doing. See how he's placing 92. He's placed a bunch of 50 lots. The only real size that's came in has been the guys that are aggressively hitting into the bid to fill these 50 lots. Everything else has just been one lots, two lots, you know. And if you add real size to shift on the bid, right? You can see that there's not really any aggressive selling right now. So you're just happy for price to come down because you can just spark 92, 50, 50. The market drops down a little bit more. If you've got 20, 30,000 contracts to get off on the bid here, right? Whether that's for yourself or your clients or whatever the case may be, you're not really caring because you can see the tape. You can see there's not like there's one side selling aggressive stuff. You could just stop the market dead down at these prices. Lay out some bids, buy a couple hundred contracts, do it in 20. I mean, 20 lots at a time is quite a lot for this. I was scrolling all the way down here. Look at all these one lots. You know, typically, one lots are seen as retail traders, but they're not. This is what happens when the bidding offer is so thin. It's just buying and selling programs now. But you're spot on though, Fig. Dan J, good question, dude. So we call this the ghost algo. It's been there for so you can see now just the offer been pulled, right? Look at the offer just disappear there. You know, market goes up. What's that like 10 ticks? It's no real buying coming in. Just the offer is just disappeared. Um, yeah, so the ghost algo never gets filled. It's just there to distort the book. I actually think it's there to destroy heat maps, to be honest. The only thing that I've managed to sort of work out the ghost algo is pretty much to do with it's to do with the VIX. So, which is basically the volatility index. So when the VIX is lower, it's closer to price, and when the VIX is higher, it's further away. It never really gets filled. I think we've seen it been filled once. So let's see if they take that there. I mean, the tape it certainly moves fast. Yeah, exactly. And the market's basically been, faffing around here for like 20 minutes, selling deltas come in, and it was this guy down here, you saw him multiple times with 50 lots, 92 lots. He let the market go down, bought it up, and then continued hitting it. And pretty much it looks like whoever sold this from up here is basically been hitting into the bid for these large sizes, more than likely just to close their positions. And then the firm that is ultimately carrying out this behavior with the 50, 50, 50, we'll see if they're just going to try and drive it back into value now. I mean, NQ is certainly not helping right now. If it continues to go down, then we're going to continue in this range. Ultimately, buyers want to try and, if we break and hold above 28s, then a lot of the selling in here need to liquidate, to be honest, because then the short is no longer in play. But yeah, I think, Dan, that's been here for about, I think this is like 10 weeks now. This has showed up. Obviously, it gets pulled before big news events. 6.2, so you've got 26 is it? Okay. Yeah, I see that. I see that just from, you mean last week's FAF area. I think that the Ghost Algo is definitely a buying and selling program. One lots. It's there to start the book, spook out the other algos, and just there to execute one and two lot positions, and then get out in the bid and offer. To be honest, because I mean, if you can move the market at the minute by a couple of contracts, there's no need to spend any more, is there? You're just literally downsizing your risk, and you can trade more frequently because commissions isn't a problem for these guys. There's 100 lot. Let's see if it's taken. Or is it going to be pulled? So very typically, if this was you and you laid out 100 lot right now and the market ticks up off it, surely you would think to yourself, right, the offer is not that strong, right? If it was you that laid out 100 lot there, you'd be expecting, if sellers were extremely hungry to hit into the bid, that they'd have jumped at the chance to fill 100 lots, which they've not. And why we're saying this is because this is exactly why they do it. Test the strength of the offer, and there is no strength. And they pull it because it wasn't real, just there to test the strength. Of course. And that is it. Now, if they actually start lifting into the offer with a little bit of conviction, then we're back at POC. Woohoo! You guys can hit the like button for me, please. There's 21 of you lovely people and only 6 likes. If you could sort that. Okay, here they are going again. Let's see if they take the full. See, they take it this time. Yeah, exactly, Pike. Really depends on the flow, to be honest with you. But this isn't really flow. This is just firms doing business because they have to. This is a completely different eye to read. The one that's thicker. It's not a huge amount of news this week, I don't think. How did you guys do last week, actually? Seeing as I wasn't streaming Thursday and Friday, how did you guys get on? Did you have a good week? Or a good Thursday, Friday, anyways? Video earnings, that'll be a cracker. Is it Thursday that is, James? Um, GDP and stuff. Good. Friday was messy. Yeah, it was loads of the Powell speaking, loads of stuff on Friday, right? Okay, so Thursday and Friday. I think I remember checking. I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is pretty light, to be honest. We had durable goods, but the market didn't really do too much. Video Wednesday after close. 14 losses today. Certainly a record. You're gonna have days like that where you can't get a win. Or EggQ's gonna have a wild day on Wednesday. It'd be nice to see if Nvidia can actually post a bad earnings. It just always seems to knock out of the park, doesn't it? Or at least have some form of it as a beat. Valentino, good question. So, if you lay out 100 contracts at 32s, right, and then the market ticks down into it and doesn't take the full 100, it's not taking it, right? See the left, the red in the middle here is selling and the right is buying. So the sellers hit into the bid into this column and the buyers lift into the offer in here. Do you see how they're aggregating? See that? Right? Selling here, buying here. It's nice to slow down for me to explain that. So this 100 lot here, the market ticks down. Let me clear this. The market ticks down to here, there's 193. They hit into the bid and they don't take the full 100 lot. Here should leave a clear 100. If they're not taking that, then clearly sales are not that aggressive because they should be taking that full 100 lot as an example, right? And this is the type of games that you would play if you had thousands of contracts to execute. What's 100 contracts if you get thousands of contracts to trade? Do you know what I mean? So you're probably going to say, okay, right, the market, they did this down here. So market was down here, they lay out 100 on the bid, and they're like, okay, sellers, are you still ready to sell in here? They tick into it and they don't take the full 100, and then the market bounces off it and the offer's pulled. So that then tells the person that laid out that bid, it tells them that, hold on a wee second, I mean, sellers are not that aggressive right now, so I can just buy up, and then probably take the market up to here. The only difference is you don't think about that because you never lay out 100 contracts yourself. But these guys have got thousands and thousands of contracts to lay out, and they're never going to do it in one go. Does that make sense? Yeah, sweeperoo on the 15, right? Or that's a 5, but it'll be a even better sweep on the 15 fig. Wow, Pike, that's some great risk management, mate. Fantastic. No problem, Valentino. And that's why I keep on referring to, put your big trader hat on. Um, because why would someone place out 100 lot there? You know, why would they do that? Because anyone that can lay out 100 contracts has got more than 100 contracts to lay. Do you know what I mean? No one's going full port with 100 contracts, right? So anyone that's laying out that size has got a lot more behind them, and they're doing that for a reason. There's another 100 lot. So let's see if they take it, right? See, there's 162 there. There's nothing cleared. Let's see if they take it. See, they're not. They're not hitting into it. If anything, the market's ticking away. Okay, so they're ticking down. Still not pressing into that. If someone had a few hundred contracts to do, you think they would just hit it and fill it, but they're not. What you'll probably find now when this gets quite far away, say somewhere up here, this will probably pull. There we go. Pulled. There it is again. 31s this time. Oh, he calls it a lure. Is that get? I didn't even realize that had a name, James. Exactly, Miranda. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. And typically, you want to just be going with the path of least resistance. When everyone is buying, you want to be buying. When everyone is selling, it needs to be extremely obvious. Um, or at least, better than a coin flip. That's the whole point. You just need to show up and take positions that gives you a better probability than tossing a coin. And let's be serious, of a trading day, if you fire loads, there's going to be trades where you're just tossing a coin. Everyone does it. But you need to try and take more trades over the course of the quarter, of the week, of the month, that gives you a better edge than a coin flip. That's really it. But let's see if you take it this time. they take it. See that 158 traded. Let's see, did someone actually hit some size in? It's the only downside about not having this filtered because we can't see anything. Exactly, to live of the game. Yeah, exactly. I think really you just need to get, realize that some patterns and some flows are more profitable and easier than others. There's a lot of absorption on the bid there. Um, and when those patterns present themselves and the flow is really one-sided in your position, the other times you need to be sizing up. There's quite a lot of two-way here, as you can see. 700 here, 610, so clearly an iceberg versus iceberg right now. I completely agree with you guys. Completely agree. The crazy thing is, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, there's no day that's the same. And ES is like a roller coaster at the minute, just by how different it is on a day-to-day basis. I reckon that these larger firms are now just putting in extremely small buy and sell algorithms to execute the positions now. NQ's back at POC, but that's us right back at initial balance and point of control. End of break, as the saying goes in snooker. We were saying earlier as well that this is the type of action that is just not believable. You're making complete lows on the session. It's looking extremely bearish, but then there's no real selling coming in. So clearly someone's happy for price to come down here to absorb any selling and then just do this behavior. You know, on the other hand, if it was one-sided, negative 15k delta with aggressive selling hitting the bid and some more size, then it's a completely different conversation that you and I are having, right? Do you understand where I'm going with this? It's a Monday, no date on the calendar. This is the type of action you turn on the screen to. It's not believable. And you get that with time. You're not going to be right, you're not going to call it all the time, but like I'm saying, you just need to be able to call it enough times where you've got an odds better than a coin flip and play it out over the longer term. Nice, Vic. It's the way to do it. So the flip side, let's filter this to 25 and see how much this market moves by anything less than 25 contracts. This is the new regime of ES. Hundreds of contracts traded there, not one greater than 25 contracts. Completely empty. So this is the new regime, folks. And this is why the bid and offer is so thin, because it doesn't need to be thick anymore, because they can move the market by one lots at a time. They can drill into the next price with one lots. A keeps the risk down, and they can make the same money because the market's moving through prices with not as much size anymore. Exactly, man. That's the way to do it. Oh wow, 32 contracts. They feeling okay. Who's this? Who's this big guy? Yeah, exactly. It's more and more like NQ. Give it another year at this rate, mate, and it'll be the best bid and offer will be 10 contracts. As long as Treasury stays the way it is, I'm happy. Yeah, exactly, Miranda. There's always the next day. There's always the next day. Oh, 27 contracts. Wow. 83. Okay. Surprisingly, surprise. The most volume is done at the POC. Mm. This is quite an interesting lesson. So you can see how the market actually moves now. Now we're back at POC. This can go any way. It can go in circles, to be honest. And I always get some size slinging off at point of control. So just to so the market was down here, and just to be clear on this, so down here we'll call it negative 500, and it's now at 1600. So it's went up. What's that? 2000 delta to move to move 60 ticks. 2000 delta. Welcome to August trading. Patachi, how's it going? So what do you guys think? Hit VWAP, sweep above that level up to the lower volume nodes, value area high, and then revert back to POC? What do you think? Answers on a postcard. What are you referring to? Any specific ones? Are you referring to the 30 year or 10 year or nice Patachi? Um, do you have price and type on Valentino? What I've got is do not combine. So the orders that I've got are do not combine, which basically tells you if it's an order in one clip or not. So does that make sense? So you go and press buy, you get 500 contracts typed. You press buy, it would show up as 500 contracts. Ah, right, yeah, the 30 years is a little bit thinner. It's just the summer months, mate. Should pick up after the summer. Yeah, so if you have is it price and type on, you'll basically see the aggregated orders at each price, which is basically just aggregating the one lots together for you, which I don't think is that beneficial. In my opinion, you want to be seeing which orders are coming in one clip. Then basically you've just got the middle columns, that's what they are. They're just aggregating, and then once it leaves there for 2.5 seconds and goes back, it will refresh. That's what the middle columns do on the DOM here. after the summer. Uh, Basically, more volume. July and August are some of the two lowest months in volume. Interestingly enough, with the Treasury roll, open interest is the highest as well, which is going to be interesting. Strange time in the market, to be honest, right now. You had cumulative ticks on. What, for the delta or for the tape? Gonna be honest, mate, didn't even know that was a setting. You're finding out settings that I know you can have like cumulative delta, but it's up or down tick. You can have that. Wow. So the market just moved all the way down there and look at the size it's coming in. Just Jesus. Fuck me. Combines the orders right. Yeah, yeah. So let's see what we can get for the highest order that comes in. Highest we've seen so far is 91. Here they're at it again. If anyone wants to take the stream and send it to the regulators, it would be great. As long as you split the profits with me. There has been 5 spoofs in this since we started. Then there's plotting them again. They've just spoofed three times in a minute. So it's actually more than that. It's been a total of 8 spoofs in this session. Yeah, it's illegal, of course. Okay, they take that one. There's 100 lot. One clip. Seeing a little bit of two-way action. James, they can't pick up on that because the guys that are doing it is basically helping them run the show. They charge everyone 80 cents and they charge these guys basically peanuts cost so that they keep the markets efficient for them. They literally need market making firms. Without them, their business isn't functional. Quite a weird way to look at it, but it's like a pharmacist. Uh, their partnership that they would have with a doctor surgery. It's the same thing. Without either, they're both useless. So until it's actually brought to someone's attention by the regulators, then the regulators go to the exchanges and say, "Hey, can you help us with this case?" And then they'll go, "Oh yeah, 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 sure, we'll help you with it." But they're not going to point it out. because they know exactly who's doing it. They can track all of that if they wanted to. They have the order IDs and the order types. Comes from specific platforms, specific clearing. You know, it's all documented and routed. And realistically, as well, if they do, I mean, I'm just spitballing here. Say they do 100,000 contracts a day, right? Say they do 100,000 contracts a day, and they maybe spoof, I don't know, a couple of thousand contracts, right? But when they're spoofing, they're doing it at key times to basically get an extra couple of ticks out of their open positions. They can just where do you draw the line there? Because you can just say, well, I didn't want to take the position, just cancel it. I mean, we cancel orders, that are like 10 lots and stuff. I'm not saying I trade 10 lots in ES with the markets of this, but on treasuries, I cancel orders all the time. So what's the difference for them? It's a very grey area. It's basically the same. It's like the same rule as like insider trading. How do you prove that? It needs to be glaringly, extremely obvious that it's happening. Then the last extremely obvious case was that Nav guy who was just spoofing the world out of everything. You can't like layer 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. They do it at key times to basically test the offer or test the bid strength. And then if they test it and it's not that strong, then they know they can just gradually hit into it. Here they are again. If you guys have any questions for what you're seeing, I mean, there's not really, we're at POC, there's not really much you can do right now. Also got the initial balance, this high volume node to break. Looks like we're happy to chug around in here. Have you guys got any open positions? Did you trade? Did you trade this back up into value or anything? Or Three shorts from gold, waiting to back to break even. There's a big stacked selling balance on the AM and ES. Would you generally expect the market to fill these areas in later? It's not been filled in yet, James, or where about what was the level? You caught the earlier drop from 40s. From here. Oh wow, you're short here and just got this dumperoo. Nicely done, Miranda. Nicely done. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this was the move. Wow. So we had durable goods come out an hour before the market, then basically swept the high and open, and then that was the play. Gave it to you within the first 20 minutes, to be honest. Short, and then that's really it. I mean, this is you know, there's no edge here at all right now. What short three ticks above POC, back to POC three ticks. Market goes down to 36s. You bid back up to POC. It's about all you can do right now. 22 minutes before the open. So here, and the market went up, then filled it out. Is that what you're saying here? So let me just rectangle that for you. You're talking like here. I mean, to be honest, I'm looking at the previous day high, overnight high, sweeperoo. So market closed here, had all this faffing around. We basically then sort of opened net long, swept overnight high, and then the plummet. Overnight high, overnight low sweeps are always the best. If they give it to you, if it's beside a previous day high, then even better. Ah, okay. So you're talking about this, basically this imbalance, I'd imagine here, this big sell imbalance here. It's not been filled in. I don't think we're going to fill that today. We need to get past VWAP, past this high volume nodes. Here, break value area high, sweep this level, continue on, and then, sort of fill this out. Let me move. So you're basically talking imbalance to probably somewhere like here, right? Roughly, where all this selling come in. So like 54s or something. Nice. It's quite sad that I can got a candlestick until the imbalance. I need to get out the house more. That's what that means. um, do I still trade the alt bond now and then? Not really. Like on a very rare occasion, but um, I would trade the 30 year before the ultra. Find the ultra bond like it's good if you get it in the right way, but it's harder to scratch. Um, bids and offers get pulled a little bit more. It's harder to get out of a losing trade, to be honest. Oh, 147 lot. Wow. Very cool. Why is that the main? Is that the main treasury you trade? I'm just going to call you M. Is that the main treasury you trade, dude? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is some of the worst action I think I've seen in ES. Globex is easier than this. Oh, nice. He's switching from NQ to UB, trading for 2 months now. Success. Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. I take it you couldn't go to like the 30 or the 10s. It'd be like, I mean, if you trade NQ, it'd be like watching paint dry for you. So I can understand your reasoning for going to the Ultra Bond. It's a little bit quicker. Do you look at the any of the curve for correlations, or do you just look at Ultra Bond itself? Mm. Yeah, trapped a few longs up there, I suppose. Good shout, mate. There's just no bid anymore. Look at this. The market ES, the top 500 stocks in the US, has moved through 3 ticks with a total of 38 contracts. 38. 3 ticks. So when the market's doing that, there is no incentive for these firms to even spend any money at all. Why would you bother? Why would you bother slinging 25, 50, 100 lots when you can move it through by drilling in one lots? Why would you bother? Why would you take the risk? I certainly wouldn't. You get more efficient fills, you don't need to risk as much, which means your margin is better and your profit factor will be better as well. You can accumulate, distribute easier, you don't get as many slips or any slippage. It's the way to do it. Nice. Nicely done, dude. You're using the 10 and 30 for correlations. Very nice. How do you find how do you find that on the Ultra Bond? Do you find that one tick is difficult? I mean, the tick to commission ratio is good for the Ultra, so it's certainly better than the 10 year. I think you'll maybe get 7 trades, break even roughly, maybe 10, depending on your how much your commissions are. Yeah, the spread would be okay. I mean, you're talking about spreading the 30 against the ultra, or spread the tens against the 30s, or the 5 against the tens. What are you thinking? Are we only trade outrights? They only trade spreads. There's a number of spreads you can do, to be honest. Just going to pop this in here for anyone that would like to show some support to the channel. It's much obliged. So you're looking for what side's stronger, but not asking if sides are pulling and stacking. Also looking where the bigger market orders are. Nice. Do you find your risk to reward is skewed with that? Are you taking a lot of scratches? Nice. You're already doing that on the 30 year. Nice. And you guys just literally, in, one tick target and then managing the limit to get out as soon as you're filled, or are you managing it? Sometimes you get 3 ticks. How are you doing that? Because it's certainly easy to scratch on the tens, but to do it on the ultra, I can imagine it's hard to get well. It's not hard to get filled. It's certainly hard to navigate. In the current bid and ask, it's easier to do it probably from a tick below the bid and ask or above, if that makes sense, rather than the current. Right, with you. And how many ticks do you go for a day? Are you like hard on one tick, or are you letting some of them go? I'd imagine you probably need to be trading, at least 3 contracts doing that, maybe two, and you're maybe trying to do 4 or 5 ticks a day or something along those lines. Nicely done. What do you have as your volume triggered stop for the Ultra? Once X executed on that price, you're basically just saying market. Right. So you're basically layering the bid and offer for queue positioning. If you get filled, cancel the other. You already got your bracket order filled. If you're doing it on the bid, if you're laying a bid out and say the bid gets pulled, it goes offered, you're instantly trying to scratch, or if 200 contracts trades into the next price, you're out or something. Nice. So you don't copy trade, you just go for 1 to 3 ticks per account. Well, per contract, and you'll be using Rhythmic, I think is about 7. You can have seven scratches for 1 tick on the 30 year. I think it's not far off the same for UB, and it's about 4 or 5 on the tens. But the trouble with this is, to be honest, is you're the only way you're getting like 50% in the queue, really, is if the market lifts the offer and then goes bid, and then you quickly join, and then they stack in front of you, you know, or you're layering the bid, you're maybe last in the queue, you've got multiple layered, and then when they hit into it, some cancel and then some rejoin, then you may be getting 50%. But you can obviously see the edge on treasuries, that if you just get every single, if you get bids and offers laid out continuously, you're going to have good queue positioning. But you kind of need to time it. It's hard to do in the current bid and ask. It's almost easier to do it like at 1 tick away, like here and here. No problem, James boy. Are you guys using Sierra or using Jigsaw? Well, that's the thing, Dean. They're not. Let me bring up treasuries and I'll show you what I mean. Because this is not we're not doing anything here on this. So open chart book, treasuries.